Yeah.
All right, we should be good. What is up, guys? It's your boy MumboElite here, joined with Drew. This is going to be another episode of the Elite Army podcast. Drew, you just want to introduce yourself real quick for people who don't know you?
What's up, guys? I'm Tundi Websterfam, or Drew. Just call me Drew, I guess. I have a Tundi Gaming as a channel. We don't really do much with it, but occasionally we'll stream or something. We just feel like it. But I'm just here to talk with Reed, I guess, about some stuff.
Heck yes.
On this podcast, have some fun.
So now, Drew and I have known each other for a while. It seems like, I don't think we really knew each other in middle school, but throughout high school, I think we knew each other without even knowing it. Like, we played baseball in middle school and stuff, but I think it was when we started, I think Black Ops 3 was when we really started, like, understanding, I knew who you were, you know who I was. We kind of played online sometimes through different friends, but when do you think it was when we started really getting to know each other? Do you know?
Yeah, it was in Black Ops 3. It was a night. I don't know, it was like just you and I. We stayed up till like fucking 5 a.m. just talking about random shit. And we'd be like, oh yeah, I remember you through this person, or I heard a story about you through that. Like, we knew of each other, we just didn't really know each other. Like, we just heard through other people's stories. Like, I remember the one girl told me how it's like she had a crush on you and stuff, and like you and Eric she had a crush on. I was like, I just like knew stuff, like, but I didn't really know who you were at all.
I think about that stuff all the time. It's like, for me at least, it's like I'm in college now, and it's like I really don't look back and wish I could do high school over again. I'm just glad I'm out of high school and kind of going on with life. But I look back, it's like I feel like there would be so many good podcasts with just us in calls and other friends in calls that just will never have happened or like never been recorded just because they were just so chill back in the day, and it was before we had recording equipment. That I think I would love to just look back and like listen to what was it like my senior year, like what were we talking about, what were we playing, things like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah, some stuff.
I've heard some crazy shit.
All right, so you guys probably want to know kind of what topics we're going to cover throughout the course of this podcast. We want to try to go for around an hour. We have a couple things we want to cover. I don't know exactly if we're going to cover all of them, but there's some that are been in the news lately. Some being Jake Paul and Logan Paul, swatting / police officers, things like that. So I think we're just going to start off with the most recent, which sucks because it's like I thought the most recent was the swatting, but this whole Logan Paul drama. So I think you know a little more detailed information than I do. I don't want to like say something wrong. So from your knowledge, like what happened, and then maybe what do you think of the situation? Then I'll kind of give my sense on it.
Alright, so as far as I know, from a few of the Keemstar videos and the tweets and stuff going out there, this is kind of the way I'll lay out the story. But I'll try to be as like equal and not like give my opinion or anything first. So Logan Paul was in Japan. He was doing some vlogs in Japan, and he was going to the Suicide Forest. I'm not sure the actual name of the forest, but they nicknamed Suicide Forest. It's a forest where sadly like Japanese people go and they commit suicide. Logan Paul was going to go. He made a video, and the intent of the video was to go into the forest and like camp overnight because there's like rumors that there's like haunted ghosts and stuff in the forest. So he was going to do that. That was the intent. When they were in the forest, they came across somebody who had recently just hung themselves, and Logan, he was laughing kind of. I watched the video a little bit. Like, I watched the video, but he kind of made fun of it. Yeah, he did make fun of it, but I also, like, when he's uncomfortable, he does kind of laugh and stuff. I think they didn't... Okay, well, I'll just go on. So, he did that. Also, when the video came out, at the beginning of the video, he did put a thing saying that he was doing this for awareness and stuff, so that all happened. They showed the body. I think they blurred out his face of the body, and that's kind of okay. So then it started this huge thing, like crazy trend on Twitter. Everybody's heard of it. Everybody talking about it, and I don't know, man. I feel like that video So I know. Okay, I know this. I know Logan Paul didn't go in there intending to find that. I know he wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the plan of the video. I really do believe that. Do I think he made a mistake uploading? Absolutely. Do I think he did wrong uploading? Yeah. Do I think maybe the way he acted was a little weird? Yeah, but that's people act differently. I think what should have happened is the camera should have been turned off.
Mm-hmm.
They should have left immediately. Like, they called the cops. They knew where it was. It wasn't far into the woods. So a lot could have been done differently. I think he knows he fucked up Major. I think I've seen some people say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong," and I think the people that think he did nothing wrong just don't truly understand
the gravity of it. And
like, yeah, you see a dead person, whatever. A lot of people, whatever. That's somebody who had a life, who had a family, who was just going through a rough patch. Like, you can look at one person and be like, "Oh, there's millions, billions of people on Earth." Everybody matters, though, and like, if you just think, "Oh, whatever." If I watched a Logan Paul video and saw a family member hanging, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's just one person. It doesn't fucking matter. And it affects a lot of people that deal with that kind of stuff.
That's the thing I thought of, not right away, but kind of as I've heard a lot of people's opinion on this topic and just like thinking about it more. A lot of people are just super quick to distance themselves from anything that ever happens, but in a lot of these situations, you really can't feel what people are going through unless you put yourself in their shoes. Like you just said, imagine if that was a family member. Like, I don't even want to think of this, but like, Drew, imagine if it was like one of your sisters or maybe your dad, and you're watching a Logan Paul video and you saw your dad like hanging out there. Maybe he was missing or something. You didn't know where he was. And that's how you found out, or you're coping, and this is what you see. Like, I couldn't even imagine going through that stuff. And, like, my initial reaction, I think, is with, I don't know the percentage of people, but my initial reaction is just being a human being. That is something I don't want to see. That's something that you would think, holy crap, why would you upload this? And just instantly just, and I made a video right after, and I was just, one, embarrassed almost for Logan Paul, because it was like the sort of thing where it's like you think there's a limit. You think that death would be the limit. Like, you see even TV shows, they're not dead bodies that they're using. They're people like pretending to be dead, or like they're like cutouts or like molds of actual people. This was an actual dead body, and yes, it was like blurred out in certain parts, but he went like right up to it, and he was like, oh, he saw stuff in his pocket and things like that. And I have two different takes on this. Now that I've had some time to like settle back, I still think it's a big issue, and I think it's a lot of things. I'll touch on this in a moment, but I have my like human side of, I think this is wrong. I don't want to see this sort of thing. But I also, like, you maybe have the side too, being a YouTuber, I feel like, for me at least, I feel like no matter what I do, there's always going to be people out there who support me regardless. Like, I feel like I have such a strong community, even though I don't have Jake or Logan Paul numbers. If maybe something happened where I was in the news, or I did something wrong on stream, maybe I said some word I wasn't supposed to, I will have people who will back up my character and say, like, I'm normally not like this, or this was a one-time thing, don't hold me on it. But there's always going to be people who want to see me fail. And I feel like with Logan and Jake Paul especially, with like Drama Alert and just everyone hating, I feel like they're always just looking for that next thing to yell at them about, make fun of them about. Yes, that is wrong. I feel like you shouldn't film a dead body, but if he didn't do that, I feel like it would be something else, you know? Like, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like they would find just something to nitpick? Because Drama Alert's always like Jake Paul. I feel like that anything Jake does, which he does a lot of stuff I don't agree with, but at the end of the day, they're YouTubers, you know, they're trying to ride their wave, they're trying to get their views, they're trying to get their subs. Like, what's your kind of take on that? Where's the line?
Well, I think we found the line, but I mean, look, Jake Paul and all this, they have all this drama, and it's little things between YouTubers, usually between Rice Scum and Face Banks, and they excuse me, or Jake Paul cheats on Erica and Jake Paul Heart Wheel, or whatever it is. that's fine. Whatever. Like, let that happen. That brings you in views. That does everything for you. That helps you. But when you start affecting other people that don't really want to be, people that aren't even in the YouTube community, people that have their own problems, you don't got to bring other people into your channel. You know, like maybe other YouTubers, it's okay because other YouTubers kind of are signing up for that. Maybe I don't know exactly, but like if you like see like a Rice Gum, his channel and his success was based off of his diss tracks and stuff, and now he has this amazing personality that's keeping him relevant, and he's relevant and he's good and he's funny and everybody likes him. But yeah, I think when you start bringing in like somebody that's not even asking to be on your channel, that's horrible. And then like I don't know, did you see the video of the kid that was like
crying about the suicide thing and his mom was recording that thing? Or
no, oh my god, like it's where the kid was saying that victim was lucky to be on Jake Paul's channel.
What? I don't think I've heard this. He said so he's obviously a Logan member. He's a Maverick.
Yeah.
And he said
he's a Maverick. If I can find the video, he
said the dude was lucky to be on Logan's
channel. You ready
show.
for this?
Okay.
I'll play it.
Just a little clip, or?
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds.
And the guy who died should be lucky to be in Logan Paul's vlogs. I'd do anything, even that, to be in Logan Paul's vlogs. Because you get recognized by a lot of people, you know, millions of people. And since I'm a Maverick, we do different things. So even though a normal person would not film it, we're Mavericks, so we film it anyway. So...
This brings up another point I want to talk about. I guess we can touch on this a little bit. We can talk about Jake and Logan Paul all day. We've already been going for about 12 minutes on it, but just kind of wrapping up them and just talking about YouTube in general. I just think that there's a lot of people like Logan and Jake Paul. They're young. They're early 20s. They make
mistakes. Yeah.
They make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I feel like when you're in the limelight, you can look at this anywhere, and this goes into our next topic. When you're in a position of power, like they're in a position of power on YouTube, no matter what they do, there's going to be people who love them for it and hate it for it. There's a lot of people who love them, but there's a lot of people who hate, and that's a lot of their success is having both of them. You can't have a lot of success and only have people who love you. It's not a thing. You have to have those people who hate on you. You have to know how to deal with it. And the thing I'm scared about, Jake Paul and Logan Paul aside, I'm talking about YouTube as a whole, internet as a whole, generations as a whole now. Hearing something like that, knowing that kid wasn't faking, and it maybe he was, but I've seen so many videos, Keem tweets these a lot on Twitter, you just hear these kids who generally just accept that and think that's okay and want that attention so bad and want to follow Jake and Logan Paul so bad that, let's say Jake or Logan Paul or any YouTuber decided to join a cult, you know, and said, hey, make this drink, it tastes really good at midnight on this night. If you want to be a Maverick or be in the low gang, drink this. And maybe it's like a poison. You know, maybe that's his plan, and then all these kids die because of it. Like, that sounds kind of stupid to talk about, but at the same time, remember during the summer, all the kids outside of like the Team 10 house, disrespecting the neighbors and stuff like that, like taking out their cameras, not caring about people's privacy. Like, that was unheard of a couple of years ago on YouTube, but now it seems like there's a new generation of just fanboys and fangirls who, I think the way the Pauls run their channels is, it's a TV show. They are in TV networks, they know what it's like, they've been in movies, they've been in shows, they run their channels as shows. And that's why I feel like kids find appealing about it.
Like it, yeah.
And the problem I think YouTubers have with it is a lot of YouTubers try to be genuine. A lot of YouTubers try to be who they are. And you can see this too with like Dr. Disrespect on Twitch. People have personalities, and that helps your channels grow if you have a personality. But a lot of people try to put their like actual, how they act in a day-to-day life into their vlogs. It's hard to see. It's hard to judge people off being a character if that's actually them or if it's not. And like, what at what point do you draw? Like, we could talk about this forever, but like, it's just one of those things.
Everybody has their own limits. Everybody has their thing. Jake and Logan Paul, they spread a positive message sometimes. You can do anything. You could succeed. Their videos always start with that. Dab on the haters. These things that are good. But it's the fact that they go in and they do crazy, irresponsible things that these kids are like, oh, that's cool. Like, they might have, I don't know, man. It's really hard, but I think they just need to be careful what they post.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful with it. Now, one last thing before we get into our next topic. Just as a person, I know how I feel about myself. You probably know how you feel about yourself. We're not perfect. Like, we've made mistakes, but I feel like both of us, at least, have done a lot of good things in our life. Things that have maybe helped other people, maybe talked people through depressing times. We've gone through depressing times ourselves. Just as a whole, I'm a firm believer of, like, life is long and life can be short. You do good things, you do bad things. If you do something wrong, I don't think you can really look at the good actions that someone did and say, oh, they didn't do anything wrong because they're a good person because of this. I feel like if you do something shitty, you have to take ownership, and that's one thing I appreciate that Logan did, is he's like, I know a lot of my following will back me up. He's like, don't do it. I messed up. Like, you have to take, I feel like, to a certain extent, control of knowing, yeah, you fucked up, you made a mistake, move on from here. And I think Jake Paul did a good job this summer, too, with that, when he got caught in the lie with the whole thing going on with FaZe Banks. And I think he had a concert or something he went to. And he's like, everyone wants to see you fail. We're just going to keep grinding. And I think that's the best way to get out of situations, is if people keep talking about you, if people want to bring you down, the way you let it bring you down is you stop uploading. You stop doing what it is you love. If you keep doing what it is you love doing, and there's a big enough fan base, or just fan base in general, supporting you, the hate's going to die out eventually. You just have to be able to ride it out.
Dude, you won't need... Let's talk about, for a second, the T. Martin and Syndicate and the CSGO Lotto thing.
Oh, yeah.
Syndicate never said a word about the thing. Mm-hmm. He recently said a word about it on his vlog a little bit. Like, he just said there was a drama a little year ago. He never said a word about it before that, though.
So, real quick...
T. Martin made the one little video. He got so much hate, and now people hate him, like, still for that.
Yeah.
People love Syndicate still. He was just as much involved.
For maybe the younger viewers listening to this right now, do you kind of want to explain maybe who Syndicate and T. Martin are and what the situation was with CSGO Lotto?
So Syndicate is he got big on YouTube through zombies. Now he occasionally uploads a video of gaming, but every single day he uploads a vlog on his vlogging channel. T. Martin, I feel like most of you know who T. Martin is. He kind of rides whatever's going popular. COD channel. He grinds a lot of games actually on his second channel, so he plays everything. If it's a game, he's played it basically. Yeah. But everybody knows CSGO, and there was a thing called CSGO Lotto, and basically, I think it was like gambling with your CSGO items. I haven't really played CSGO
like
much,
your CSGO skins. Yeah,
your skins and stuff. And Syndicate and I'm pretty sure the site was illegal in the first place, but it's also illegal that Syndicate and T. Martin were playing the game, and they didn't tell people that they owned the site that was doing it.
And recording
it, too. That's
illegal.
That's illegal if you didn't know, That's why you see a bunch of YouTubers now, they really make it clear if they're sponsored or if they're not, because they can get in trouble if they're, sponsored by something, and they didn't say it.
And real quick, we're not talking about, maybe $1 or a couple cent skins. We're talking about, knives and stuff that were online, where it's literally thousands of dollars being gambled for a video where they can get these items for free. If they own the site, they can get these items, they can gamble it and act like, oh my gosh, they're about to lose $10,000. Yeah, they can make a lot of money off those videos because of the views and grow substantially because people want to see that because they don't want to do it themselves. What do you do, Drew, when you don't want to spend $100 on COD points and you want to see what a new item's like? You go to YouTube, you look it up.
Go to YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what happened is T. Martin made a video apologizing, and he ended up taking it down because it got crazy hate. And Syndicate didn't say a single word about it. Syndicate is loved to this day. T. Martin is still loved by many, but many hate him for that.
Yeah.
And they don't even, they probably don't even realize Syndicate did just as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sometimes you back away from any drama you're in. Don't make a video about it. Just continue your normal routine. Things will just go back to normal fast, way fast.
Yeah. And I think Syndicate and T. Martin are good examples of maybe our bias, where we look at maybe Jake Paul and Logan Paul and we think, oh, these little kids are brainwashed, or they're thinking they're such good people. I remember growing up playing Call of Duty and watching Syndicate and T. Martin play Syndicate especially. I love Syndicate. T. Martin, I kind of watch for news here and there on Call of Duty map packs, but Syndicate, I watch play zombies, I watch play Minecraft, I watch play everything. I just loved his personality, and if he did something wrong like this, I'd forgive him for it. I'm not going to hold it over his head. It's a shitty thing to do, and I think it would have been right to take more blame for it and come out. But that's the thing too, is to a certain extent, if you know you're wrong, you can't dive in the past. You can't hold on to it, because that's what's going to bring you down. You just got to keep moving forward. I feel like both of them did what they thought was best for themselves. Syndicate kind of just didn't say anything. T. Martin came out, and I remember watching his video, and T. Martin, it was like a half-ass apology, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember him apologizing, saying, but then reading his site thing where it would tell he was the owner, and he's like, nowhere in here did it say I had to say this. If you looked for this information on the website, you could have found, because we had to provide this information. Just a lot of loopholes he was trying to get himself out of, instead of taking full blame for it, which, like I said, I'll give him props for coming out. I feel like people found out about it, so you almost had to. But one thing I hated about the whole situation was Syndicate was vlogging at the time, and I believe he had a kid through Make-A-Wish who he was hanging out with. And if you guys don't know Make-A-Wish, basically Make-A-Wish, you contact Make-A-Wish. A lot of kids who are going through cancer and might not survive normally go through here, and they might go to Disneyland or want to hang out with a pro NFL player. YouTubers are pretty big around the world, and there's a lot of people who want to hang out with YouTubers. And you're seeing this now more often, Jake Paul, I think, had one. Logan Paul, I think, had a couple kids. And with Syndicate, he got attached to this kid. He not only hung out with him, because it's you only have to hang out with him once, I think. But he stayed in contact with his family. He set up a bunch more trips with them. He would go to events with them. He would always be texting the family, talking to them. And the kid actually passed away during the time of the CSGO drama. And I remember the vlog got a lot of hate of him realizing the kid passed away and talking to the family. And it was just so emotional seeing so many people send hate on something Syndicate was so passionate about, for the good, Did you remember that at all, or? Yeah, I remember that. That situation sucks a lot. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's move on to some maybe more topics, because I feel like with podcasts, you can kind of sit and talk about things and have them go into other stuff, and you can sit here and talk for hours on end. We're going to try to keep a format to it, so we're going to kind of go back to some things that have been in the news recently. That was the CSGO Lotto thing has been old for a while, but let's talk about swatting. Swatting's been around for a while, but most recently it's been in the news over $1.50 Call of Duty match. You want to explain a little bit what your thoughts on that are and kind of what happened?
So, it was an UMG game. It was for $1.50 between two teams. It was probably, I don't know if it was a 4v4 or what it was, but whatever. The team that lost, two players on the team that lost got in a fight. It wasn't the other team. It was two players on the same team. They got in a fight. I don't know, just I don't know what it was. Maybe who had to pay the money or whatever the fuck it was. Why'd you do this? You just lost us some money. One guy ended up saying, I don't know if he was send me your address or... No, I think the guy was swat me, I bet you won't. He gave him an address. the other guy took this address and sent it to a known swatter, I guess. I don't keep track of the known swatters because I'm not a fucking cunt. But he sent it to the swatter. The swatter is he's now in prison, but he is the guy that had evacuated, was it MLG Dallas? Or
Yep.
I think it was
Yep.
MLG Dallas. He evacuated
yeah.
that. He said he does evacuations. He doesn't really do swattings, but he did this swatting. He did the swatting, and what ended up happening is the cops showed up, a guy walked out of the house, seeing all these sirens, he got shot. I don't know how that engagement went, but he got shot and he was killed. It ended up that guy had nothing to do with gaming, the online thing. It was a random address that this guy had given to the other friend that had given to the swatter. And now it's like, who to blame, really? Do you blame the cop that shot him, knowing that all the cop had was intel that there was a guy in the house that wanted to kill him, probably. Like that's all the cop had. Yeah. Was it the guy that called in, got the address, and swatted the guy, and gave the cops the address to Renimus? Was the guy that gave him the address, gave the swatter the address, or was it the guy that originally gave the wrong address? There's so many people to blame, and three or four different times that this situation could have stopped and saved a life.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think personally, there's a level to each of them. You can't look at it as it's 100% this person's fault. It's solely
nobody 100%.
I think the portions vary though, and I feel like this is one of the things too where you see people using it for certain agendas, whether it may be why online swatting is a bad thing. You see people put all the blame on the guy who called it in and faked the story and had the cops go to the house. You might see a lot of people who want to push an agenda of cops are bad, so they're going to take a police officer who shot an innocent man and like run that as their headline. I think what you have to do in the situation is, at least for me, is step back and just, like I said, put yourself in the shoes of the family, put yourself in the shoes of the officer, put yourself in the shoes of the person. And if we start at the beginning of this, I just get heated thinking that someone decided over a $1.50 match that, hey, I'm going to attempt to put someone's life on the line, regardless if it's a joke or not. I'm going to bring this to a known swatter, give a random address or the wrong address, whatever it is, and then now go into the swatter's shoes, going in and calling, because people, like I said, if you don't think about it too much, you might just assume, oh, you called police officers to someone's house. That's a big thing, right? No. What you did is you took information and said something along the lines of, this is probably, I don't know exactly what he said, but like, I use the example of my house. If someone watched the streams and said, okay, they realize I have a mom and dad, and I have a twin sister. What happens if someone called my house, called the police around my area and said, hey, this Reed character, MumboElite, he killed his sister, shot his dad in the head when he came home, and his mom just walked in and has her at gunpoint and said he's going to kill any police officer who comes up to the property. And then you send those police officers to the house basically in a suicide mission. Like, I don't know how to deal with that. I'm not a police officer, but there is a lot of angles. There's a lot of ways you can look at it. And now moving to like the police officer's shoe, you deal with so much as a police officer. There's good things, there's bad things. There's a lot of people who count on you for protection. There's a lot of people who look at you as like a scum unit who end people's lives who did nothing wrong, you know? Because that's the thing. When you look at people through history who either they're heroes or you're looking at people who are in positions of power, is you don't look at all the things you do right. You always hold people for the things they do wrong. You could, let's say in a hostage situation, like get it right 99% of the time, where you kill the person who is the bad guy, save the good person. But the one time, you accidentally miss a little bit, you might shoot a victim or lose a victim, you're going to get the blame. And I just feel like it's one of those shitty situations where you're going in, like they are going in thinking that they are going to die this guy steps out of the house. I don't know if he like reached for a pocket or whatever he did, but like they shot him, and he wasn't. I don't think he was armed.
Yeah.
You got to give him some blame, but like, what do you think? I don't know.
It's, you know, you'd have to be in the shoes, but it's like one of those other things. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like cops, if you're a cop and you shoot somebody, immediately once the situation is under control, that cop actually does he gets put in custody. Like, technically, like, yeah, he gets his gun taken away, his badge taken away. And it's not like, oh, you did bad. It's because they have to go through all the procedures. Now they have to make sure the guy he shot for the right reason. They have to make sure he's mentally stable. Like, when you're a cop, you don't just get to just shoot anybody. Like, when you shoot somebody, you do get technically arrested. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they put you in custody, they question you, they treat you, because they want to make sure that you were in the right when you shot him and stuff. I don't know if a lot of people realize that. So, like, a cop's not just gonna shoot people, because it could lose their job. They have to go through a big
paperwork like crazy.
Like, well, that shit, yeah, that's just so much. Like, and these are the people that protect, like, all these people around them, like, they care about the community for the most part. I feel like the majority of cops care about the community, want safety. So killing somebody, I don't think is a cop's favorite thing to do ever.
No.
And I know that's not. Like, that's nobody's favorite thing unless you're a psychopath. And if you're a psychopath, no way you're going to become a cop. Yeah. Well, you could, I guess, but it would be difficult.
Yeah. I think this is...
It sucks. I hate people dying that didn't deserve it, but things happen. The world's a big place. There's a lot of people. Mistakes happen all the time.
Yeah. It's one of those, like we said, shitty situations where you can look at it whatever way you want. I think this whole swatting thing in general is... I think it was Big Foltz. Big Foltz is a Call of Duty YouTuber and Twitch streamer, and he brought this up too. He goes to his local, and Keemstar said this in his video too, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a Twitch streamer, if you're any personality, it does not hurt to go to your local police station and explain to them kind of what swatting is, who you are, and what might happen. Because doing something is trying to explain to an officer, hey, I have people online, this thing called swatting, you might have heard of it. If someone calls something in my house and it sounds crazy, maybe call me first, let's see if we can get it worked out. Or if you come to the house, maybe know that, hey, this is known to get prank called a lot or something like that. Something as simple as that could save your life, save someone else's life. And it's one of those things you don't think about until it happens to you. And then you just sit there and you wish you would have did something.
Yeah, it'd save cop time where they could be doing more important stuff than a fake phone call.
Yeah.
Like, when they hear that in a little small town, they send everybody on duty there, for the most part, I'm sure. They send everybody. If there's a gun or whatever, they send everybody. That means, like, the whole rest of the town, there's probably there's no cops making sure everything else is safe,
Yeah.
Like, shit like that, it sucks, man. I don't know why, but recently I've just been thinking, man, like, you just see people that just truly didn't deserve to die. They didn't deserve to die for a long time. That man had 2 children. Those children do not get a father. That man had a life. That man had a job. I'm sure he had a loving family. He died for nothing that he did wrong. Not one thing he did wrong. And he's dead now, And his kids don't have a father figure. Father figures are very important. Like, you might not realize it, but having a father in your life is really, it's an awesome thing,
It's
and
great.
if you don't have a father, it sucks. And, like, hopefully you have somebody that's like a father figure to you.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, too, that, like I said, we could keep talking about this forever. I see it both ways, I see a lot of videos on the internet where people pull their cameras out. You see cops acting, not knowing their own laws, trying to force people into certain situations. You see it on tape. But you also see a lot of good situations where they're doing the right thing. They're going out of their way to help the community. And just like any profession, any person, I think you can pull it whatever way you want, whether it's the good, the bad. You're going to get whatever message you want out of it. And I had a neighbor just moved, I think last year, but ever since I was in middle school. He lived right next door to me. I don't want to say his name, but really good friend of our family, and he's a police officer, and we've known him for a long, long time, and he is just one of the nicest people you'd ever meet. And just when I think of a police officer, I think of him. And when people like bash police officers or just as a whole generalize them as bad, I just look at like my neighbor and just think, why would someone just automatically hate this man who puts his life on the line every single day because someone else messed up? And for you younger people out there, I don't want to get too graphic with this, but I don't know exactly if I can say the whole thing, but I remember they came in. I can't say it because we talked about it at our like going away senior thing, where basically they bring all the seniors together. They have a police officer come in and kind of tell you, like, you're going to be going to college, things are going to change in your life. One drunk driving thing could change it all. Or, like, they bring in someone who maybe killed someone drunk driving and how their life is now. We had a girl come in and kind of explain how she hit a guy and now is, like, instead of just sitting in prison, she's going and speaking at a lot of schools. But the thing I want to touch on is my neighbor. One of his, like, first days on the job in our town, by our highway, there was a really bad accident where it was a group of high school kids going to a different high school. It wasn't the school we went to. They were coming back from some trip and their car hit something. They went like on the side of the road. They flipped. The car just completely shredded to pieces. People didn't have seatbelts on, so they were thrown out of the cars. The only survivor was the, I believe, driver who had his seatbelt on. And just the thought of pulling up to a scene, seeing just a bunch of kids like slid across the road when you're going like 70 plus miles an hour, dead, and you have a guy who doesn't know what's going on, probably concussed, sitting in the passenger seat of this car, and he's asking like, where's his friends, or his friends okay? Like, what do you say in the situation? You know, yeah. How do you stay calm as a police officer? How do you get them to, one, safely remove him from the vehicle so he doesn't get hurt more, but two, how do you properly explain to him that his friends are no longer here because of maybe a mistake he made or just something that was unavoidable? You know, that's something as police officers, it just sucks. There's a lot of good for the job with communities and everything, but there's a lot of bad too. Right. It's tough to talk about. I still get emotional thinking about a lot of this stuff, and luckily I haven't had too many people close to me go through experiences like this. I heard it from him, obviously, but like, imagine if that was your family in the car. Like, what would you want to hear? It sucks. It sucks, and I don't want to talk about it too long. We've been kind of down not a depressing road, but a lot of the stuff, you know, it just gets you if you think about it too much. So let's take a moment. Let's think about some happy thoughts. Video games nowadays compared to back then. You know, what video game are you playing right now, Drew? Like, what's your one or two favorite video games at the moment to play?
World War II and Fortnite.
Okay. And now, are you like splitting the time evenly? Or are you enjoying one more than the other? Does it kind of depend on the night or who you're playing with, or like what's happening here?
I think it's split pretty evenly right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who's on depends, I guess, a little bit, but I'm really enjoying both right now, which is awesome. Because, you know, when you're stuck to one game, it kind of sucks. But if you really love the game, it's okay. But like last year, I felt like we could have used Fortnite last year. Now that I think about it, bro.
Nice. With Infinite Warfare, that would have been so nice.
Dude, it would have saved that year. That last year was a horrible year. I guess for like zombie YouTubers, it was a good year, but
yeah,
man, that was such a. Every other YouTuber that did COD is gone now, basically.
Yeah, you see the zombies community as a whole, you know, not enjoy the zombies this game. The pubs community, you know, is kind of split half and half. I feel like a lot of them who are really good at the game, you see this a lot. They're really good people, or people generally enjoying World War II. A lot of their channels do very well on YouTube, and they're still getting the numbers they were in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare and things like that. But the ones maybe who are struggling, not getting as many views, they're going back to Black Ops 3. I know I've tried that, going around to Black Ops 3, or going to Fortnite. And for me, to be completely honest, it doesn't matter what game I play. I kind of just have the same group of people who will be there no matter what. My channel on YouTube is not really growing at all. And Twitch, it's I can play whatever I want. I'll maybe get a follower here and there. It's just more having fun. But I think the main thing that I think about a lot is the most fun I have, I think, nowadays, and is the same as when I was a kid, is just playing with people. I can have fun, streaming Fortnite by myself, but when I get my followers or subs in there, or even off stream, a group of friends, and we play either a 4-man Fortnite, or my favorite is we just play Call of Duty and we get 4 versus 4. We do scrims and we try to see who's better, and you can just do that for hours and hours on end and just have so much fun with it if it goes well, in terms of if the teams are fair, if people are talking trash. But sometimes it just is so lopsided, it's not even fun for some teams. But what are your thoughts on that?
I love competitive Call of Duty. I love losing. I love winning.
You love losing?
I don't I don't mind, man. I just love playing. And here's the thing, a lot of the people I have friends and stuff, and you and everybody basically gets super mad. And I feel you'd probably play more, but they get really mad and they just want to stop playing, or they don't want to. They get 1 or 2 bullshit deaths and then they're done playing, and it's man, we gotta fucking keep going, and you don't get better. I don't know, man. I want to keep playing no matter if we lose on a lose streak, win streak.
Yeah.
But everybody else, they get too mad. And honestly, I don't get as mad at video games as I used to. Because I know there's Call of Duty bullshit, and I feel there's always Call of Duty bullshit, so why get mad if you know it's going to happen? And then also, man, if you're getting a lot of bullshit deaths and shit, get a fucking better internet connection and get a fucking monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's oh my god, he wasn't even there on my screen. It's probably because you're playing on a TV that's 55 inches on your Wi-Fi. If you play, people don't actually understand this, but there's a time in between it on your PlayStation onto your screen.
Yep.
If you get a monitor, there's less of a time. And yeah, dude, the monitors are so much better. It's crazy, but it's true. And then also another thing with the monitors, smaller screen, people are oh, why would you play on a smaller screen? You want a big screen.
Yeah, you want a huge screen. As a kid, I thought that. Big screen.
Yeah, but the truth is, this is why the pros, if it was easier on a big screen, the pros would play on big screens. They play on small screens like that because of, the time to get on the screen and stuff is faster. So you might even see people before they see you, even though, technically you see each other at the same time. But also, a small screen means your eyes can stay straight. You can look straight. You don't have to move them around or anything. And you can just look at your screen. You don't maybe not realize this, but when you're on a big screen, you're looking left, right, up, down. You got to look all over the place. It's little things like that. That's why people are better. The little things start adding up and become a big thing. It's SCUF, control freak, monitor, direct internet connection. All these things come together and give you a huge advantage, and then just being good at the game, obviously.
And it adds up too. You think of the money value, and there's so many kids nowadays just getting into Call of Duty, just getting into video games, and be holy crap, this is an expensive hobby to get into. But the way I look at it is, I remember when I started as a kid, and I just got my PS3. I didn't have any sort of quote-unquote gaming setup. I didn't have recording devices. I wasn't doing YouTube. I was just playing on whatever screen I had. I think it wasn't even an HD screen. I was just playing on something. And the progression of my Christmas and then my birthday, which is January 31st, which is pretty close to Christmas. It's only a month or so. So it was for me, it was nice to be all right, so this year I want to get a cool looking monitor. I want an HD monitor so I can play in my room. And I also want a cool controller, or I want a microphone so I can sound better when I'm talking to my friends. Then you get other money from your presents, and you just like invest it into your setup, and like easily most people's setups nowadays, people like think it's crazy, but if you have a gaming setup and you're either a YouTuber or you're really competitive about what you do or really like video games, you have at least $1,000 invested in your setup. People are like, what? Think about how much does your PS4 cost? How much do your games each year cost? Your microphones, your headsets, your gaming chair, your computer, your laptop. Easily thousands of dollars. I'm just lowballing it right there. And so many people just jump in, and you see kids now, like, it's like there's a reason why there's so many people good at pubs and will just whoop your ass. A lot of it is they're good at the game, they put their time into it, and they also have all these items that maybe a kid who just got the game for Christmas playing on their crappy Wi-Fi at their grandparents' house, you know, don't know the maps, all like there's so much stuff coming into consideration. And the thing is, though, like we can put this into our next topic, is like me as a kid and you as a kid, a lot of these things didn't matter. It was like one of my first Call of Duties was Black Ops 1. I got it for Christmas. That was the first one I owned, and I remember, I don't even know if I went positive the first couple games. I just was having a blast. I don't think I even had a headset either. I was just playing on the TV sound. I would turn it up. It was like, oh my gosh. I run into a battle, I shoot someone, I either die or I get the kill. I get kill streaks, I'm level up. It was like the coolest thing in the world to me. And I didn't care what I did, how much gear I had, or who was better than me. I just played because I had fun. And I played with my friends because they did the same thing. How about you? Do you remember kind of back then?
I remember, so when I got my PlayStation 3, I remember I got a pair of Turtle Beaches too, which I was super hyped about because I was thinking, oh, my dad's not, like, he's already buying this PlayStation 3, it's like $300. He's not going to go spend another, like, $50 to $100 on a headset, so I just asked for, like, a cheap little one to talk to friends. And so I got this, like, the MW3 edition Turtle Beach, and I was super hyped about that. And, like, dude, I'm just thinking all the money, like, all the things that make you such a better player. There's headsets, bro. I forgot even to say that one. Headsets, so much better of a player.
Oh, yeah.
If you really understand it, and you use your senses, and you can hear, oh, they're coming from that direction. Or you can hear them walking. You can hear their footsteps. Players that are casually playing, using the volume from their TV, just sitting back on their couch, they're like, "Why are you killing me? Why?"
How did they know I was there? Like, a lot of those things I didn't believe until I had, like, my friends tell me. They're like, listen, if you get a headset on, you can actually, with certain perks, hear these people move around, and you can get kills off of it, or you can stay alive. It's like, I had no idea.
These, like, $15 control freaks, people wouldn't believe it, but this $15 control freak, it gives you so much better aim. It's unreal. Like, I put this on, and it might feel uncomfortable for the first few games or whatever, the first day or so, but you'll get used to it, and you will have so much better aim. Like, it's just little things. Like, I don't have a scuff yet. Maybe one eventually, maybe, but that's like a $200 investment there. So I want to, it'd be like, but I know scuff helps you so much too. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. I'm
and
competitive.
It's not like pay and get better. Like, you pay and you have to still learn these things.
I look at it as a sport thing too. It's like, you don't have to have the fanciest gear, whether you're baseball, soccer, football, basketball player, to be the best player. What you see a lot of the time is a lot of these good players, or these people who want to play at the next level or want to get better at their craft, they'll invest their time, they'll invest their money into it. And for, like, video games, people might look at it and be like, oh, that's crazy. Why would you invest more money in this? All you need to do is buy the game and freaking play. I remember when I was growing up playing soccer, my parents would spend thousands of dollars on, like, club teams to help me get, like, club tryouts to get me on a club team, where each weekend we would travel out of state to play other top teams in, like, the Midwest, to get college coaches to look at us, and it was just a whole process. Nowadays for kids, it's like, listen, you get better gear, you do better in game because you can get better at hearing people around you, you can talk better with your teammates, you can overall get better at the game. It's not just going to be like I didn't perform well because I'm playing on a 64-inch TV. My mom made me turned off the Wi-Fi halfway through the game. It's like, no, it's an investment. You want to go far with it. You see people want to get on pro teams. You see people want to join organizations. It's esports for a reason. I feel like it's getting to the point where, and it is to the point where people are starting to respect it as such. I don't know if there's controversy people calling it actual sport. Is video games a sport? I think there's a difference between like playing a game of like football and playing a game of Call of Duty, but I feel like the level involvement of teamwork and everything is still there. Like I think people get hung up over the word, do you call video games a sport? I'll say this though, regardless of what you want to call it, I communicate probably better in Call of Duty and like Fortnite and all these things than most of my teammates ever did growing up playing soccer or like basketball or football or just anything. So
it's
there you have it.
Communication goes a long way too. There's like a lot like can I play competitive and like I'm always like I know that half the people I play with aren't gonna tell me where people are, so I have to pay attention to the map and stuff. But if they would do it, they'd say this person's here, I saw a guy run there. Or like a lot of times people, they see a guy, they think they have an easy kill, so they don't even say he's there and they just start shooting. If you would have said, oh, I see a guy, then shoot him, or shoot him while you're saying I see him, like other teammates will be like, okay, they're probably in this direction. Like I don't know, there's a lot more to Call of Duty that like I play MLG a little bit, and we get fucking toasted all the time. We win a few here and there, and it's like, why are we losing? We're so good. These people aren't even that good. It's because they have this communication that we don't have, and they know call-outs. They put the time in, not just like play two series and then get mad and get off. They learn from their mistakes and they keep playing. Like it's that easy.
Black Ops 3, I got really into competitive when it came to multiplayer, scrimming with friends, UMGs. It was an investment, but I started learning, the maps. I started learning all the ways you could spawn in, all the wall runs, all this and that, because I wanted to be a better teammate, first of all, but second of all, I was just interested. I loved watching people play it, like, competitively, like, watching each weekend, like, Optic versus FaZe, Optic versus all these teams. It was, like, compelling because I generally enjoyed watching it more than I would maybe some sports. And it's one of those things, too. If you generally enjoy the game and you want to get better and you're playing with your friends, you'll put that time in and you'll, like, want to get better at it. There's so many people out there who just hop into competitive and just get toasted because they don't put that time in. Or they think, oh, it's a waste of time. Why are you sitting here for hours and hours, like, practicing with your team? I just played a pubs game, went 10-0 versus these noobs. I can go to competitive and it's going to be easy. No. Like, you could lose a round simply because one dude didn't call out a guy crossing and you assume there was, like, one less number there and I got outgunned. You had less people in the place and then they just played smart. Like, simple as that. When you go down a person, like, look at it in sports too. If you go down a person in COD in Search and Destroy, and it's no longer a 4v4, it's a 4v3, you can position yourself differently to where, especially if you're defending the bomb, they have to plant and you have numbers. You can almost win the round every single time if you just play your life and trade off. Kind of the same way as like hockey and soccer. If a person gets sent off and you have numbers, you can use that to your advantage. It doesn't automatically mean you win, but if you play the correct way, you play the way you're supposed to play, it will work in the end.
Yeah.
That
something fun I'd like to get more into, competitive, but
so we're getting kind of close to the end of this podcast. I just want to end with two things real quick, which will take, I think, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. Just kind of, how did your 2017 go? Kind of where it start, where it end. Just talk about what you want. Were you happy with it? Were you disappointed? What things would you change? And 2018, like, what are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? What do you think is going to happen? Just kind of, do you want me to go first with this and kind of just talk, or do you want to?
I'll go. Okay. So, I guess 2017, I mean, fuck it, it was a pretty shitty year because,
Yeah.
I mean, gaming-wise, I just didn't like Infinite Warfare. Didn't like any games really that much. I played some GTA for a little bit. We played some Black Ops 3 a lot again. Like, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. It's kind of just like a gap year. I just figured out some shit in my life, and now in 2018, I guess we're gonna hopefully graduate high school, get that shit done. I guess, I don't know, we'll see what I do from there. I'll probably go to, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but figure out life, hopefully shit.
Yeah.
By a few years we'll fucking be making millies.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
I don't know, man. We'll just get through these. I don't know. I feel like these years. I feel like so you get to end of high school or whatever, and I feel like this is where life really starts to challenge you for a little bit.
It does.
I feel like you have to, you figure out what you want to do with your life first of all, which is hard to do, but you gotta do it somehow. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Go to college. You don't have to go to college, but it's the best way to do things if you want money, really. It's the best way. So you got to do college. You got to figure out which route of college you want to do. If you want to do community, this, that, all these different things. While, a lot of people have to pay for a lot of stuff at this time, work a lot. You're expected to do a lot. These are, the years where, it's, fucking do things. And then you got to get done with college. Then you just do your real job. And, hopefully it's something you enjoy doing. And if you don't, you can... once you got a diploma, you kind of, hopefully, you can find a job that you like within that realm, or, you can figure out what you want to do with your life, but it's, nice if your diploma revolves around that'll help you, 20 times more, but, I don't know, man, these are just times where you just gotta figure out your life and shit like that. I feel like it's just, so hopefully, I feel like these next few years are gonna be kind of shitty, kind of awesome, but once you get through them, you're living the best days of your life.
Yep. For sure. Quick question for you before I say mine then. I'm going to try to think each podcast, if I bring different people on and we get different stories said, just real quick, whatever we end on, I'm just going to kind of ask a question. You don't have to go in depth with it. Maybe it's just a one-word answer. Just off the top of your head, what do you think the best thing is? If you want to explain a little bit, you can. But for this one, we're talking about jobs and stuff. Would you rather have you go through this school, you not enjoy it, you get this job, you not enjoy it, but you get paid a great amount of money? Or would you rather maybe, instead of not going through college, maybe going to a job where you enjoy what you're doing, not get paid as much, but from that point on, you're just living a life that you're happy with? Not saying that you aren't happy at points with, your rich job where you're making more money, but you got to go through a lot of shit where you're not really enjoying any of it. What would you rather have?
I feel like find something you love and the money's gonna come. I think life has a way of working itself out, and so I don't feel like, I just feel like that's not actually gonna happen. Obviously, money helps a lot with happiness, okay? There's rich people have problems too, and every problem matters. But when you get rid of the problems, worrying about, stressing about money, and maybe having these stress problems about money and stuff keeps you from other problems that you might get in your life. But a lot of people, they stress about money, they stress about doing this. They don't get any true vacation away from their house or anything, and things like that really help clear your mind and stuff. And a lot of people don't get that because they just don't have the funds installed. I don't know, man, money would help, but also if you're not happy with your job and stuff, that kind of sucks at the same time. So it's really it just depends, I guess, if the cheap job, how well you'd be living off of that, I guess, because, and I don't know, man, a lot of money is a big part of life. You can be happy without money, but happy, some of the happiest people don't have any money, but it kind of sucks too, because a lot of them don't know where their next meal's coming from and stuff like that. And but they're like just happy for what they have and stuff, and like I don't know, man. But still, like when you have a lot of money, that gets rid of a lot of problems. When you're right in the middle and you're like dealing with all this stress and stuff, it kind of sucks. But
For sure.
it's better than living on the streets for sure. Having a house and stuff, and knowing when you know you're getting fed, and you know this. Like I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like even people they might go to school with or whatever, like kids around them, half of them might like this school meal might be their only meal they get.
Yeah, you don't know.
They might not. They don't know if they're going home and getting dinner tonight, or if their parents are going to be like. A lot of people, they look around, they see kids or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that kid's up to no trouble." That kid might just not know anybody because his mom's working 3 jobs so he can go to school and have clothes and things like that. Like, I don't know.
And just you don't have to answer this. This is just more just food for thought. For me, like stressing about college and getting a high-paying job and all this stuff. You look at kids who like don't go to college. You're like, oh, what are they going to do with their life? For some of these kids, like you said, it might be their only meal of the day. They're not worried about, I need to get an A on this test. I need to study for this to get into the school to get this job. That's so in the future. They're just worried about getting their next meal. Like things that are so far advanced for us, for other people might just be not even a worry.
That's what,
and that's why they're probably happy.
A lot of people, especially like in our town and stuff, they don't think like that. They don't think like there's kids like they're like, oh, why can't you go to college? Why can't you do this? Well, it's because they got problems with like surviving, making their life right now. Like you have like when you have parents that have jobs and stuff and can get you stuff. Like both of us are we're really lucky and privileged and things like that. And but I like my mom works with a lot of kids because she works at school, at high school, and she like tells me this stuff like she sees the kids that just don't get like they don't know like where their next meals come from and stuff, and she tries to help and stuff. Like it just sucks. Like there's a lot of kids out there that you don't even know are having way worse problems than you dying in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Way worse.
Yeah. So yeah,
like
No, keep going.
No, I was just like, I just feel like a lot of kids nowadays are really like, they really just are like, they don't understand like things like that, and they just, it just sucks. I don't know. There's people that like really struggle still, and they're like, what? Just go to college and stuff. It's like these people, they don't have that option. They don't have like, they don't have the guidance. They don't even have like, a lot of them have pride, even like they need help, but they have too much pride to go to a counselor, go talk to somebody, so it's hard. And you can't say anything because if you're not in their shoes, you don't know anything. I don't know.
Exactly. I think for me, going back to what we were saying before, I'll wrap it up around the same point we're at right now. Is I'll even wrap it less than 2017. I'll go to like 2016 too. Just from graduating high school, I so much changed in terms of what I thought I was going to do with my life, from not knowing what I wanted to do. Because it's one thing going to school just to go to school. It's another having a plan, having a vision of what you want to accomplish. That's true with anything. It's like it's so hard to just go through the motions because you don't enjoy doing it. You don't feel a purpose to it. But when you're actually motivated for something, you can see who's motivated by like how hard they're working, what goals they're setting and things like that. And it's so weird how things just pop into place, because I remember I knew I wanted to go to Whitewater. I didn't know what I wanted to do though. I started off, I think, with computer science, and it was to the point where in high school I would take all the computer science classes, but I never took a business class. Now I think it's funny that I'm a business major and I didn't want to do computer science, and all the prior knowledge that people had about business going into college, I don't have that. So I'm kind of starting on zero. Besides kind of common sense, I got to work my way up. And I think with YouTube and gaming, it wasn't something that I knew I wanted to do or know I want to do now. It's still one of those things that's just like, it's just another opportunity that landed in my lap. I like the gaming. I think I started YouTube. I just wanted like you and other people to see a gameplay clip I got. And then it turned into, hey, there's a live streaming feature. Let's try it out. To, going to school with, I think, 120 subscribers my freshman year, the first day. And going home for Christmas break with like 1,000. Then coming back from Christmas break with like 2,000. Ending the school year with like 3,500. Then ending the summer with 5,000. Like, just so much stuff falls into line that you don't even realize. And I hate using sub count. A lot of people look at sub count and like growth and using in terms of money and all this stuff. I look at it as like individuals that came across my path. At some point, I affected someone where either in a good way or a bad way, where they wanted to hit that subscribe button and basically say, hey, I want to stick around and see what this dude has to offer. And people come and go. That happens all the time. But just knowing that when I like maybe having a shitty day and I don't want to do a YouTube stream or a Twitch stream, like we had, for example, today we were talking to Blue. You guys know Blue for a while. He's had a couple different names on the channel, but he told us like one of the first streams he ever came into, it was literally I was just streaming Revelations. He just got Black Ops 3, so he wanted to see kind of what the map was like, I think. So he came in, he started talking. We talked to him back, He came back to a future stream. He got to know Drew a little bit. He started playing with us. He got in a game. And then from that point on, we just became really good friends. And we just clicked. And it's like, thinking that couldn't have happened if I wasn't streaming that day at that time is crazy to me. And just so many people telling me I affected their life for the better, whether it's through a live stream, a video. It really does let me know that the time I'm putting into it, the investment of the opportunity of me sitting down each day, doing a live stream or making a video actually does pay off. I'm not talking in terms of a monetary value of money, but that I'm actually helping someone out. And I think it's a cool thing to see, but at the end of the day, parents, my parents especially, want to see a monetary aspect to it. Is this something you can do for a job, a part-time job? And they respect it a lot more now than they did, at the start when it was like 50 subs and I had the same passion for it. They laughed, but now it's like I'll sometimes it's all over the place. I don't want to talk about money, but some weeks I'll make more off of YouTube and Twitch than I would at my full-time regular job. But then maybe the next week I don't make a single penny. And I think if you're going into it, you got to go into it with a passion. It's like anything else, like we were talking about before. Would you take a job where you're passionate about and not make as much money, or take something where you don't enjoy and make more money? I look at that as this: you don't make money off the start on YouTube and Twitch. You got to work for it. A lot of the money you do make, though, is from people wanting to donate to you. It's not from actually the site itself. For a lot of people, some people you might get a lot off of views and stuff, which is cool, but a lot of it is just the interactions you come across, the people you meet. And I would do that every single day of my life if I had the chance, over working something I didn't enjoy. But in terms of me trying to get this to a position where it can become maybe a full-time job or have me work at it.
I think it's time we gotta wrap it up.
Okay.
I have to work in the morning and I cannot go to sleep.
All right, sorry.
Reed's parents coming in and yelling at him.
All right. I guess we'll end it there.
Did your mom just yell at you?
No, my
Your
dad.
mom or your dad? Your
My
dad,
dad.
what did he say? So go to bed?
Yeah. So yeah. Follow your dreams. This has been Lead Army Podcast, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Drew, for coming on. Any last words?
Amen. Good luck.
All right. See